everyone, hope you're having a good day. It's John Lorden here with another episode of Brain Scratch Case Cracked. And I have to say, this one is a little dark. Sometimes these Case Cracked episodes can go that way, but as usual, it is about the search for justice, and I kind of need the balance for me personally, looking into all these unsolved cases and missing persons cases. Sometimes it's very easy to get down, and sometimes you feel like things are somewhat hopeless. Case Cracked is a good reminder for me, and hopefully for you, that sometimes justice takes a bit of time to come around. So let's take a look into the case of Joel Battaglia. June 11th, 1990, around 2:30 a.m., an off-duty security guard is driving by Trinity United Methodist Church in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and he sees a man lying in a pool of blood across the street on the sidewalk. The man has a blunt force trauma wound to his head, likely caused by a baseball bat. Police arrive and try to resuscitate the man. They wind up rushing him to St. Mary's Hospital, but unfortunately he is pronounced dead at 3:36 a.m. The man has no wallet, no ID, and would be sent to the morgue as a John Doe. They had no way to identify who he was. One day later, a tattoo of a phoenix above his right ankle would help identify Joel Battaglia, a 23-year-old man who had recently moved to the area to complete a teaching degree and follow in the career that both his parents had. Joel had been at a bar that night, Mulligan's, in the East Town area of Grand Rapids. He was there with a new girlfriend, a student at Calvin College, when an ex-boyfriend of hers showed up. Joel and his girlfriend got into an argument, and Joel left the bar. As a matter of fact, he didn't even tell her that he was leaving. She says it was like he was there 1 minute and he literally just disappeared. He walked several blocks towards his home, but for some reason he winds up passing his street and continues a few blocks over to the spot where he is later found by the off-duty security guard. Police start investigating and tips start coming in. Some people wonder if Joel had a fatal encounter with one of the area's gangs. There are several there: the Wealthy Street Boys, the Cherry Street Boys, or possibly the 9 Iron Posse. But years begin to pass with little progress in the case, and eventually the case does go cold. Every year, Joel's family was sure to send a Christmas card to Bill Forsyth, the Kent County prosecutor. Jerry and Gail, Joel's parents, worked very hard to keep attention raised to Joel's case. They would even go out and walk those streets frequently on their own, handing out posters. In 2014, a documentary is made and locally screened. It is called Death of a Phoenix: The Easttown Murder of Joel Battaglia. 500 people attend the premiere, and police would later admit that this film helped rekindle interest in the case. Within a matter of months of that film coming out, Kent County prosecutors file perjury charges against 4 men that were initially investigated. It appears that they had lied to investigators. One of the men, Aurelius Marshall, a 56-year-old man as of 2015, who played in a local church band, is eventually charged with murder and found guilty. A juror notes that a confession that Aurelius made to his neighbor is a large factor in the conviction. The jury felt that the neighbor had absolutely no reason to lie and nothing to gain by giving his testimony about what Aurelius had told him. Also worth noting, Aurelius's own brother, AC, testified that he witnessed Aurelius viciously beating Joel. It appears that the motive was simply robbery of a stranger, explaining why Joel was found without his wallet. Aurelius is sentenced to life in prison without parole. The judge tells Aurelius during his sentencing that he is the lowest form of a human. Joel's parents are noted as calling him the face of evil. After 25 years, Joel's family finally sees justice, and his mother promises to continue sending Christmas cards to the now retired prosecutor, Bill Forsyth. A really touching case, particularly from the perspective of his parents. They recognized that Joel was someone that was kind of trying to find his way in life. He had gone to school in several different places. He had moved around in the country, but then ultimately settled on the career path that his parents had and wanted to come back and finish up his teaching degree. But he did some pretty amazing things. He got to do some really cool things in a very short life. And it just, I keep trying to keep my chin up and keep hope alive for so many of these cases that we review on this channel. But even in this case, you have a man that is 23 years old, and it literally takes longer than he was alive for justice to truly be served. But thankfully, both his parents finally now have it. They have the answer to what happened to Joel that night, and the man who's responsible for it is sitting in prison for the rest of his life. So, case cracked. If you have any suggestions for Case Cracked, please leave them in the comments below. This is still by far my hardest show to research. There are just so many cases where the missing piece or the thing that really opens up the investigation is just not quite known. So if you have suggestions, if you know of some cases where that missing piece is kind of easily found or understood, please do me a favor, drop it in the comments below, and maybe your suggestion will be featured on an upcoming episode. I hope you're all having a great week. Thank you for spending a little time with me here on the Lord and Arts channel. Take care, and I'll see you on the next show.